New details now in a story we've been following for nearly 2 weeks. Singer David has canceled the rest of his U.S. tour after a girl's body was found in the car of his car at a tow yard.
He was scheduled to perform tonight in San Francisco and tomorrow night here in Los Angeles. This comes as police investigate the death of a 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who was reported missing from Lake Elsinore last year and found dead in David's car.
This video shows crime scene investigators carrying out a laptop and other items from this home on Doheny Place. That's possible evidence. Police remaining very tight-lipped about the investigation. One neighbor we spoke to remembers seeing that distinct Tesla for a while.
He sacrificed that little girl. He sacrificed that little girl to make it to where he needs to be in the industry. And how much you want to bet that he's not going to get a lot of time, because the system that we are currently in, PDF files don't get a lot of time. He sacrificed that girl to inspire him to write more music. He left her remains in the back of his car because somehow it was inspiring.
Nobody ever caught me, but I've spoken too soon. In the back of a police car.
David might be headed straight for a prison cell because investigators are building a chilling case that paints him as a predator. Reports say he manipulated and controlled a girl for years, cutting her off from her loved ones until she became trapped in his world. That same girl, Celeste, later turned up in pieces inside a trunk. An unthinkable discovery that has her family pointing the finger at David. Even her own brother admitted he warned authorities about David, calling him a dangerous man, but those warnings were ignored. Now the puzzle pieces are coming together, and all signs seem to lead right back to David. This isn't just some rumor swirling online. It's a full-blown investigation with cops raiding his home, digging for evidence, and searching for the truth. The spotlight isn't on his music anymore. It's on this dark, twisted scandal. David, who gained traction on TikTok for his songs and is currently touring, now finds his shows being overshadowed by this horrifying case. Imagine fans putting up memorials for Celeste outside concert venues while David's up on stage like nothing happened.
Now, why the fuck would the artist do that?
The contrast is shocking, and people are asking why fans of the artist are even doing this when his name is tied to such a disturbing story. Celeste's age has become another shocking piece of the puzzle. Reports bounce between 13, 14, and 15, but one thing is clear. She was underage, and the idea that David, a 20-year-old man, could have been in some type of inappropriate relationship with her is disturbing on every level. At first, it looked like David had no ties to her disappearance because he was busy touring. But then, her remains were discovered in his Tesla, and suddenly everything changed. Authorities clearly believe David's hands aren't clean. If they didn't, why else would they storm the house he's living in?
Home is where David was living, although he does not own the home. LAPD investigators served a search warrant here last night, collecting evidence. Right now, however, this is only being called a death investigation and not a homicide, and we're told that is because the LA County Medical Examiner's Office is still working to determine how exactly this teen girl died. This video shows crime scene investigators carrying out a laptop and other items from this home on Doheny Place. That's possible evidence. Police remaining very tight-lipped about the investigation. One neighbor we spoke to remembers seeing that distinct Tesla for a while. First, parked in front of the house police searched, and then at 2 different spots along the street.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it, so all a little.
The raids, the whispers, the growing evidence, all of it is stacking up against him. And now, instead of being seen as a rising artist, David is being dragged into headlines as the center of a gruesome case that has the internet and law enforcement watching his every move. Let's rewind to where this nightmare first started. At an impound lot in Los Angeles, people were going about their business when suddenly they were hit with a foul stench, something that smelled disturbingly like rotting flesh. That odor led them straight to a Tesla that had been sitting there, and what they found inside would send shockwaves through the city. Even though Celeste's body had been dismembered, investigators were still able to quickly identify her remains. She had been missing from a town near Lake Elsinore, and the horrific discovery happened on September 8th after police were called out to Hollywood Tow. The smell alone was enough to raise alarm, but when they opened the trunk, the truth came spilling out. What raised eyebrows immediately was the license plate. It wasn't local. The Tesla had Texas plates, which made the whole situation even stranger. Why would a Tesla with Texas tags end up in a Los Angeles impound lot? Teslas are expensive, sleek, and usually brand new, so why was this one abandoned like garbage? The car was traced back to none other than David Anthony Burke, the same David who's on tour right now pretending like none of this is happening. If he's out performing across the country, then why is his Tesla tied to a crime scene? The first excuse people thought of was that maybe someone stole it, but here's the thing, the car was never reported stolen. That means whoever left Celeste's remains inside had direct access to David's vehicle. Digging deeper, police revealed that the Tesla wasn't just randomly dumped at the impound lot, it had actually been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills around September 3rd, and then towed 5 days before Celeste's body was discovered. That timeline only makes the situation look worse for David. And then came the chilling details about her clothing and jewelry. She was wearing a tube top, black leggings, a yellow metal chain bracelet, and stud earrings when she was found. Investigators also noted she had a small tattoo on her finger, and that tattoo became a key clue in identifying her. Now here's the part that made people's skin crawl. David has the exact same tattoo. At first, some fans brushed it off, saying maybe Celeste was just a diehard supporter who copied his ink. But others pointed out something darker. One viral comment said, "They had to because she was a child," suggesting the matching tattoos weren't about fandom at all. They were a twisted symbol of a secret connection between them. This is beyond disturbing. Matching tattoos between a 20-year-old man and a girl under 15? That detail alone has left people horrified and demanding answers. This whole situation raises so many disturbing questions. Why would a 13-year-old be sneaking out of her house late at night to meet up with an older boyfriend? And how was she missing for over a year without answers? The confusion only deepens because different outlets can't even agree on her age. Some reports say she was 15, others say 13. And people online are insisting she might have even turned 14 while she was missing. The uncertainty around her age makes the entire story feel even more chilling. When authorities discovered her, the state of her body was heartbreaking. She had been wrapped tightly in plastic, so badly decomposed that her remains weren't even fully intact. Investigators first caught wind of the crime because of that unbearable stench coming from David's Tesla. And here's a haunting detail. She wasn't found in the trunk at the back of the car. She was stuffed into the front compartment of the Tesla, a tiny space not meant for anything, let alone a human body. Inside the bag, investigators discovered her head and torso, evidence too grim for words. Meanwhile, David has been trying to play it cool. Sources say he's been cooperating with authorities, which is part of why his house was raided and evidence was seized. But cooperation doesn't mean innocence. Investigators are still pulling his cell phone records, tracking his movements, and piecing together his timeline to figure out exactly what role he played in Celeste's death. His name is literally on the registration of the car where she was found, so the connection is undeniable. Celeste's disappearance stretches back to April 2024, when a missing person poster was first issued. That means she had been gone for over a year before her remains were found in September 2025. According to the details on that poster, she was born in 2010, making her 15 today. But investigators believe she was already gone before reaching that milestone, most likely at 14. And the tragedy doesn't stop there. Her body had been rotting in that Tesla for at least 5 days before it was discovered. Her mother, who held on to hope for over a year, had always prayed that Celeste would return. But she also knew that her daughter left with her boyfriend. And that boyfriend was David. Reports suggest Celeste had a troubled home life and had run away before. But this time was different. This time, she never came back. And now the biggest question echoing everywhere is, what exactly was Celeste's connection to David? And why did it end in tragedy? People on TikTok say they found screenshots of messages that link straight to this case. Wild stuff is popping off online.
There are messages between Celeste and her friend at the time she was missing where her friend says, "I'm just gonna check up on you," and she responds, "I don't want to talk to anyone. That's it." Okay, yes, of course, but you have to swear you're gonna stay safe. Are you gonna talk to David or go back with him, because I don't want you to get into any more trouble with him? I'm safe. No, I'm not. Okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Love you too. Here's where things get weird. Celeste says it can bleed and not bleed during, because you probably did it when you were younger. I didn't because I wasn't. You said you bled. What? I thought I did. I only bled with David. With Gus, I was just, and did it because he got mad at me the first time for not having.
The chatter centers on Celeste's brother, who's publicly said the family is grieving, but had warned authorities about David before. Those warnings? He claimed David was potentially dangerous and a threat to Celeste, yet police didn't act on his tips. The brother has also shared disturbing details about their relationship and what happened after she vanished, and some of those screenshots were posted on Twitter for everyone to see. I can't verify where those texts came from, but the internet's gone full-time detective and people are combing every clue. Someone asked the brother on social that exact question: was it really him? And he bluntly answered, "Yeah, it was him," saying David even found his account and started following him out of nowhere. Followers flooded the thread with anger and support, and people asked if the brother ever talked to David in person. He said he did meet him once. Then came the big one. Did the family know Celeste was with David or staying with him? The brother said he knew, and that he took the concerns to police, but his reports were waved off for lack of evidence. Now, thousands of strangers are backing him online, and they're screaming that things won't be ignored this time. The brother says law enforcement still hasn't done anything concrete against David, and folks want to know why. When asked how long Celeste had been dead, the brother said, "Dead for 2 weeks," though others online guessed it might be closer to a month. People have also been digging into David's vibes and message in his music, calling his stuff weird or unsettling. One chilling overlap that's got folks talking. David dropped a music video for the track "Romantic Homicide" on Celeste's birthday, the same day she allegedly died in his car. In the chorus, he sings, "In the back of my mind," and fans are now reading the lyrics like they're clues. This whole thread reads like a crowdsourced investigation, angry, raw, and searching for answers. But we've got to remember screenshots and social posts aren't proof. They're leads that cops still need to verify. "You died and I didn't even cry." No, not a single tear. Those lyrics hit like a punch and people are freaking out online. Folks point out the line, "In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it." And it sounds like something straight out of a nightmare, especially given the timing of the music video release. The song dropped in 2022, but the video came out on the same day people say Celeste's birthday fell, and that coincidence has the internet on edge. Fans are digging through unreleased tracks, snippets, and old posts trying to connect the dots, and every spooky line gets viewed like a clue. One song even seems to name her Celeste.
Nobody ever caught me, but I've spoken too soon. In the back of a police car, I forgot whatever I knew. I ain't feeling nothing. Do the same if they ask you about her.
The lyrics go, "Oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest, smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed. Oh, Celeste, missing you so much makes me depressed."
Breaking news, authorities now searching David's home, and some crazy new details have been released. So last night, a swarm of officers was seen searching the Hollywood Hills home where the Tesla registered to David was originally towed from. And people are saying this is obviously David's home because he's literally posted videos and TikToks from inside, and there was a red Tesla found in the garage. They seized a computer and other items, but haven't revealed anything else. They also revealed that Celeste was not found complete. They found a head, a torso, and other limbs, and it's unclear whether all of her was even there. They also leaked a song by David titled Celeste, where he mentions her name 2 times, says he loves her and he's missing her so much. Not to mention his hit song Romantic H was released on September 7th, which is Celeste's birthday, where he says, "In the back of my mind, you died. I didn't even cry, not a single tear, and I'm sick of waiting patiently for someone that won't even arrive." And then says, "You and didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true." Rest in peace to Celeste. Let me know what you guys think, and as anything comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
Those lines are creepy to a lot of people. especially because of the tattoo detail and how personal the words sound. Reports say Celeste was born in September 2010, which would have made her very young during the timeline people are talking about. And that raises serious alarms. People online are saying they were in contact since she was a child, and that makes the whole thing disturbing and illegal if true. Everyone's asking how an older artist could have a song so clearly tied to a kid. People want answers now. As more digging happened, users noticed a pattern. David seems to drop a track around Celeste's birthday every year.
Dude, so it's nothing, right? So it's not, so I can go like this?
Yeah. No, I didn't inspect Element. I swear to God, I'm in LA and it says number 7 for me.
Case correct. It's actually the most... Guys, everything lines up. Guys, you're talking about, what would be the other list? Guys, just for this very one coincidence, it'd be 365 times 365. We're talking about 1 out of 133,000.
He sacrificed that little girl. He sacrificed that little girl to make it to where he needs to be in the industry, and how much you want to bet that he's not going to get a lot of time because the system that we are currently in, PDF files don't get a lot of time. He sacrificed that girl to inspire him to write more music. He left her remains in the back of his car because somehow it was inspiring. You notice how all of us are saying, we don't know who he is. Who is d4vd? Who is that? Exactly why he sacrificed her. Because he wants to be known. And to be known, you have to do certain things to get to a certain level. Yes, he might have liked her, but even then, when we dealing with these emo type of guys, a lot of emo, weird type of black guys, a lot of them do be talking to underage girls. But it's just very sad. RIP to that young lady, that child who was not being guided in the right direction. And her little friends, y'all should have said something. Y'all fake. And then people were saying he put it in his songs, that won't be able to be used in the court of law. And I'm like, what? If they would not use his lyrics when he goes to trial, then we know that Hollyweird had definitely a hand in this, and the government definitely has a hand in this. It was a child sacrifice. Any black man that's into the anime and the gore weirdy stuff, and they paint their fingernails and they got the one...
Coincidence? Some say yes, but others think it's a deliberate sign of an unhealthy obsession. Photos and videos surfaced showing the pair together, and those posts are being treated like receipts by thousands of people.
Yeah, that's it, water. They say water. They say water. They say water.
So we've got David and Celeste.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Now look, the car found in the impound lot and the girl inside it don't line up as random events. How would someone know what she was wearing or what photo matched the missing poster unless there was a longer history between them? That history is what's got people accusing David of trying to hide evidence. One person even wrote, "That is her." It's literally what she was wearing in the missing person's photo, and people ran with it. The social feed is packed with suspicion, grief, and anger. This whole thing smells like a setup that went terribly wrong. They weren't kidding. It's literally the same outfit from the public missing person photo, so folks could ID her right away. Wild that someone famous could be posting on streams while the person they were with is reported missing. That alone raises alarms. There's even a screenshot going around of a FaceTime where the caption reads exactly, "Celeste and David don't let me sleep." That screenshot and a stack of more pics make it clear these two were tight and in constant contact. People keep posting more photos and clips, and the receipts are piling up.
Photo that is allegedly him covering her face. I'm not sure if this is her, but people on the internet believe that this is her. And this purse is seen in the background of one of his TikToks from April. Like, is this not so scary? Like, you're not looking good, dude.
Peep this. In several snaps, you can see David repping Hello Kitty stuff. And that detail matters because Celeste was last seen wearing Hello Kitty. Coincidence? People online don't think so. They say seeing his Hello Kitty profile pics next to her missing person photo is straight up creepy. The vibe feels immature and obsessive, and a lot of users say he'd been grooming her as young as 11. This whole dynamic goes way back on social media. There's a trail of videos and pics showing them together. On the surface, it looks like a normal couple posting couple stuff. But remember, she's a minor, and that flips the script. Folks are calling it predatory and dangerous, not a normal relationship.
Why are you doing this, yo?
Then there's the darker side of his reposts. David shared a clip of a dude chopping meat with the caption, "Me if I see her talking with other dudes," which is chilling given how her body was found. He's also reshared stuff about cannibalism and other gross, violent themes, and people are reading those shares as...
All right, let's talk about David. It's bad. First things first, if you don't know David, very popular singer. He sang songs like Romantic Homicide, the one that go do 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 feel it, you know, very popular songs on TikTok. Now let's get to the problems. Around last week, a body was found in David's trunk. Police have released information on who they found. Her name was Celeste. I'm not gonna hide the truth from you. This is her. Now I want you to notice a few things, okay? What I'm showing you is a missing persons report because Celeste was missing last year, last seen in Lake Elsinore. Remember that place. Also, I want you to take note of that date of birth. 2010. You don't gotta do the math. I'll show you the age right here. So remember, her name's Celeste, last seen Lake Elsinore. Peep the age. Now, when all these facts were released by police, people on the internet started to connect some dots. Now, I want you to listen to what I just said. I said people on the internet. Okay, so take some of this with a grain of salt. First things first. There are reports that on David's disc...
Red flags, not art. All of this, the matching outfits, Hello Kitty links, FaceTime screenshots, and weird reposts, has people convinced there was a long history between them and that this wasn't random at all. The internet's got the receipts, and now eyes are on law enforcement to connect those receipts to real evidence. David's reposts only make things look worse. One clip showed a man and woman with the caption, "Me after hearing about her past with other boys." I'm jealous and utterly disgusted by her actions. The jealousy dripping from that line had people convinced David couldn't handle the thought of Celeste being with anyone else. Critics online are saying that insecurity is exactly why he locked onto someone so young. Someone without history, someone he could control. And that brings us to the dark side of his online behavior, specifically his time on Discord. People who claim to have been in the same groups say David's interactions raised serious concerns. Screenshots from 2022 show messages between him and Celeste, who at the time was only 11. The chats suggest they already knew each other well, and members of those groups even recognize them as being in a relationship. What's chilling is that there are multiple references across Discord and other platforms between 2022 and 2024 where Celeste is openly identified as David's girlfriend.
This had to be some type of initiation because the same situation happened with a dude named Brian Barnes. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they both is artists. It was a body found in his car days after this situation, or it was close to the situation after they found the body in a Tesla. So,
breaking news: a body found in a car at a tow yard in South Los Angeles. This is a live look at the scene as investigators go through the wreckage of this car. And if this story sounds familiar to you, we started this newscast out with a body that was found in a different tow yard yesterday. That was in a Tesla owned by 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, a singer who's on tour right now. In this case, this body was found this afternoon inside that what appears to be a Honda in a South LA tow yard, Owl's Tow. We're trying to get more information. As we get it, we'll bring it to you.
even if these people didn't do it, they capitalized off the energy. So David probably going through a ritual too, to where I'm not saying he wasn't with that minor, right? But he might not have did all that cutting up and did all that. He might not have did the surgical part, but he made songs about it, he capitalized it, and he basked in the energy. So he basically did it. You did it.
Some of those screenshots allegedly hint at grooming behavior, conversations that show how he was blurring boundaries and manipulating her at a young age. Add in the tattoo connection, and it paints a disturbing picture. Investigators also noted that Celeste's last Discord message was sent 3 months before she went missing in 2024. That timeline matches up with when she disappeared, and it's left people questioning whether her silence in those chats was the first sign something had gone terribly wrong. Even more disturbing, some online sleuths say they found 2023 screenshots showing David chatting with other underage users too. The backlash from these leaks was intense, and sources claim David knew the heat was coming. Allegedly, he tried to get ahead of the exposure by paying off people from Celeste's high school who knew about the relationship. One user even wrote on Instagram, "Not even a year ago, my homie told me that David owes money to people in Lake Elsinore." And now, That same town is tied to Celeste's disappearance and death. The Discord receipts, the social media reposts, and the rumors of hush money all fuel the suspicion that this wasn't some random tragedy. It looks more and more like a long-running pattern of obsession, secrecy, and control. One person on Reddit dropped a bombshell. He told me he gave someone money because he was with a minor and showed me a picture of it too. I didn't even know if I believed it at the time. Now I'm tweaking. That statement alone sent social media into a frenzy. Another user shared, "My sister, who's now in 9th grade, told me David was dating an 8th grader. We'll call her C for Celeste. She'd even take trips with him to LA." These aren't just rumors. Celeste's friends allegedly knew about the relationship and claimed David paid them to keep quiet. Imagine that. Kids knowing secrets so dark, they had to be bought into silence. By the time people started connecting the dots, Celeste had already been missing for over a month. Then came another bombshell. David was spotted less than half a mile, just 3/10 to be exact, from her family's home in Lake Eleanor, a small town about 70 miles from downtown LA. That's way too close for comfort, and now cops are pressing him with the obvious question: why was he there? The photos tied to that sighting made things worse. People say it looked like he was literally handing out cash to teens, hush money to keep their mouths shut about what was really going on. The internet is now running with theories about David's possible motive. Some believe Celeste wanted to leave the relationship and he couldn't handle rejection. Others suggest something even heavier, that she might have been pregnant and he didn't want the world to find out just as his career was starting to blow up. Digging deeper, people uncovered an old tweet from David that feels chilling in hindsight. In it, he references someone, allegedly Celeste, saying she wanted to go back to her mom and sister. He quoted her words, "Take me where I belong," but added that their circumstances wouldn't allow it. Fans are now reading that as code. Was pregnancy the circumstance he was talking about? Think about it. Celeste was still a child, barely a teenager, not equipped to handle a situation like that. If she wanted to return home but couldn't because of something life-changing, it explains why she felt trapped. That post, resurfaced in 2025, is being dissected line by line like a confession hiding in plain sight. Between the hush money allegations, the sightings near her home, and the eerie old tweets, the suspicion only grows stronger that David was covering up way more than anyone imagined. I honestly don't know how David thinks he's gonna get out of this. Right now, investigators haven't officially called it a murder because they're still waiting on the autopsy to confirm how Celeste died. But let's be real, once that report drops, the whole case could flip. But at the core of this, we can't lose focus. There's a victim here. Celeste was way too young. Whether she was 13, 14, or 15, it doesn't matter. She deserved to live her life, not have it end in such a disturbing and brutal way. Nobody deserves that, and this case is screaming for justice. Now I need to hear from you. What do you think is gonna happen next? Do you believe investigators are closing in on David, or do you think he'll somehow slip through the cracks? Drop your thoughts down in the comments because this story is shaking everyone. And if you found this deep dive eye-opening, make sure you hit that like button, share this video so more people can see what's really going on, and subscribe so you don't miss the updates. I'll see you in the next one, and don't click away just yet because the next video on your screen is packed with even more celebrity drama you need to know about.